Hey guys, welcome to episode 7 of my Junk Journal with Me series. Today I'm going to be working out of this journal that I created several months ago, and I've been working in it off and on for several months as well. And I actually do have a flip through of this journal after I built it, so an incomplete journal flip through. If you're interested, I'll go ahead and leave that linked for you guys. But today is more of like an art journal with me, not so much a like writing style journal with me. I'm actually working on decorating this waterfall mechanism card, or like a pocket pull out card, whatever you want to call it. And I don't have a tutorial on how I made this. I actually followed Charmaine. I can't say her I don't know how to say her last name, but I will leave her video linked down below if you're interested in learning how to make one of these like moving mechanism waterfall cards. They're so easy to make, and honestly her video is so easy to follow, her tutorial, so I highly recommend watching that if you've never made one of these before. I was honestly intimidated for a long time to make one of these. As soon as I saw like it moving parts, I was like, no, that's gonna be way too difficult for me to make. But Charmaine made an 11-minute video and it was super easy to make. This is the first one I've ever made, so again, I'll leave that video linked for you guys to check out if you want to learn how to make a waterfall pull-out card. And so I'm just decorating this with different pieces of ephemera that I have. I have a lot of Your Creative Studio stuff right here in this little box that I'm going to be using. And I just really want to fill up those little cards, those little envelope cards with like pictures and ephemera. I just want like a place to tuck all of those things into my journal. And this does add quite a bit of bulk to my journal, so I just wanted this one space to be able to do that, so other pages I don't have to add so much bulk and ephemera like my dried flowers that I use. So right here I'm just tucking in some photos that I printed out on my Canon selfie. These pictures my sister actually took of my backyard. There's some plants in my backyard and some pictures of my chicken. So I thought they were the perfect little size to tuck in these envelopes. And I decided to just ink up the edges of this one with my HOLTZ antique photo distress ink, and kind of layer it on top of some tissue paper as like the focal point of the whole waterfall mechanism, I guess. I thought that a photo on the first envelope would look really neat. So for the majority of this video, I'm just decorating like this waterfall mechanism and really trying to use up a lot of my supplies and things that I have been holding on to. I think one of the biggest things, at least I struggle with, is actually using the things that either are gifted to me or that I buy and collect for the purpose of using in my journals. It's so fun and it's so easy to collect all these different pretty papers and supplies, but then actually using them is a different story. So I'm really trying to start just using as much as I can each time I journal. So like right here I'm pulling out of my ephemera book that I created. This was inspired by 49 Dragonflies. I have talked about this ephemera book that I made in a previous video, but if you haven't heard of 49 Dragonflies, she's an amazing like vintage art creator. She makes some really beautiful pieces of art and paper crafting. Her paper crafting level is just out of this world. Since creating and using this storage ephemera book, I feel like I've used a lot of things recently that I typically wouldn't reach for, if that makes sense. My biggest issue with collecting things for journaling or paper crafting and things like that is just having a place to store it where it's functional. That has been my biggest issue, but that ephemera book, I feel like I'm reaching for it all the time because everything is displayed and I can flip through it in just one book instead of reaching in different drawers or cabinets and things like that, if that makes sense. I also feel like lately my anxiety of having a messy work area or a messy desk while I'm creating has kind of gone down. I don't know why, but I'm usually the type of person that has to like clean as I go. So I do that a lot, like in the kitchen when I'm cooking. Like I'm cleaning the kitchen as I'm cooking. I can't stand you know, things being messy and kind of out of place or cluttered. It drives me crazy and I feel like I can't think when that's going on. But like as you can see here, I have things all over my desk and I'm just going with it. So I really have been trying so hard to kind of work on that and to just like let myself go, let my kind of messy or tidy guard down and just be happy in the moment and create and not so much worry about the beautiful creative mess that I'm making. Probably my favorite way to, I guess, art journal is to make collages and to use layering. So that's pretty much what I'm doing when I'm decorating all of these envelopes, is I'm just creating like interest by layering different textures of papers and even materials like some of this scrap ribbon. Whenever I do DIYs, I don't throw away the scraps of ribbon. I put them in that little Ziploc enclosure thing, and I save them for when I work out of my journals. I love to staple them onto things on the back of things, and I just feel like it adds like depth, if that makes sense, to the page. So right here's where I decided I wanted to attach it to the book or to my journal before continuing to decorate. I just thought it would get too bulky and it would be more difficult if I waited. So I decided to attach it like right in the middle of decorating it. So I took a piece of double-sided tape and stuck it to the back of the little belly band. And then I just took this piece of magazine from a garden magazine that I had tore out, and I decided to stick this down. And I was having a little bit of trouble. Again, this is like the first time I've ever done one of these waterfall mechanisms. But basically what you do is you take the double-sided tape or glue or whatever you're using and only glue down the belly band to the actual book or journal. And then what you have to do is attach the belly band to the front of the pull-out mechanism, if that makes sense. So right here, I'm just going back and using my sticky tape, roller tape, and then attaching that to the front of the pull-out card. So this sticker book right here is probably the coolest and my most favorite purchase I've ever made off of Amazon. I actually bought it, I think during Prime Day last year, and I just love this thing. There's over 1,000 just random vintage or Victorian style stickers in here. Each page is different and unique and just exciting because the pictures are just random in here and they're just so fun and perfect for this style of journaling, in my opinion, the different collages, and especially because this is like kind of a more vintage like themed journal that I've done compared to some of my other journals. So I did find this off of Amazon again, but the only other place that I have seen it was at Costco during the holidays. Now I'm not sure if they still have it there or not because Costco does switch out their books, but I will go ahead and leave this book link down below from Amazon if you guys are interested. And then these stickers are by Tim Holtz. They're the Ideology Big Chat discussion stickers or word stickers. And I use these in just about every spread that I make. I like making like different little phrases. So I came up with Think Happy Thoughts from Peter Pan. I just kind of like, it's almost like a puzzle to me seeing what I can come up with these different words. So that's what I came up with, was Think Happy Thoughts. And then I decided to put that at the top of the envelope. And you guys will have to excuse all of the dog hair on my sleeve. We have 3 dogs. We recently got our 3rd dog, Jackal. He's a little Chihuahua. I'll insert a picture. He's the sweetest dog, the sweetest boy. But he sheds a lot, and I didn't realize how much Chihuahuas shed. They shed more than my big dogs. So that's whose hair is all over my sleeve right there. So I just pulled out one of these little die cuts from Dollar Tree, and I'm sure I'm going to get questions, but the little clear boxes that I'm using are the photo boxes by Michaels. It comes in a case where you can slide out these little photo boxes. I think they fit 4x6 photos, but I decided to use them to hold like little stickers and die cuts and things for my journals and paper crafting. So again, I'm just creating some mini collages, trying to get these envelopes decorated, and I'm not necessarily trying to fill them up right now with ephemera. I can do that as I work more in this journal and collect things. I have like a lot of flowers. My daughter and my husband love to pick me flowers, so I'm always having dried flowers to put in my journals. So I know there's going to be some flowers going in these envelopes and things like that. But right now my main concern was just getting these little pockets in the journal ready to go, so when I do collect those pieces of ephemera, I have a place to put them. And I really love these Tim Holtz like vintage photo die cuts, especially the ones with the dogs. I think they're so charming, and I've actually haven't used them a lot. Recently, in the past few journal spreads that I've done, I have used them, but I've had these things for well over a year and I'm just now reaching for them. So that just goes along with what I said earlier about I'm just really trying my hardest to use up these supplies that I've just been hoarding for so long. So I also wanted to point out that a lot of like the vintage looking pictures and papers that I'm using in this spread are from Your Creative Studio. It is a vintage themed subscription for stationery. So I have a couple of unboxing videos, like and I'll link those down below, but like this little book right here and then these 2 boxes are filled with things from your creative studio, these 2 little clear boxes. And Amanda puts together some really cute themes every month. So like this last theme that I just unboxed was like a vintage movie theme, and then the one before that was like an owl theme. So again, I'll leave those videos linked for you guys if you're interested in some vintage themed stationery. And I really want to know what you guys think, or what you prefer when it comes to videos like this that I do. Would you prefer that I talk like I am through this entire video and kind of explain my process? Would you prefer that I didn't talk and just put on music so you can relax? Would you like me to talk about something other than my process for the video? Like, do you want me to do a story time, or just kind of like, I don't know, like girl talk? What do you guys want? So let me know down in the comments down below, because I really want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the content you deserve now. But I want to make sure that I'm not talking your ear off and you find these videos enjoyable or relaxing. So just, again, let me know down in the comments down below. I just felt like I have to talk a little bit because I don't want to like confuse anyone on what I'm doing or what I'm thinking or my process. But hey, if that's what you guys prefer, then let me know down in the comments. So right here is when I decide to start working on the other page. So I'm going through like my little cat ephemera tin, and I decide to do a little page dedicated to my fiddleleaf fig plant. And I remembered that I cut out this picture from a magazine, one of my grandmother's like vintage houseplant magazines. So I decided to just make a little page dedicated to that plant, because I've actually kept it alive for over 2 years now. And from what I've heard about this plant, it's not very easy to take care of, which is kind of hilarious because I don't exactly have a green thumb, if you know what I mean. So the fact that I've kept this fiddle fig alive for 2 years, I'm really proud of myself. So now I'm just adding the final touches to these journal spreads. And again, I'm not really like journaling with words for these spreads. I do end up putting a quote on this paper at the end. You were given this life because you were strong enough to live it, which I thought was a very inspirational quote that just really resonates with me right now, and all of the things that I've been experiencing the past few months, and just kind of like the trials of, I guess, life. So typically I don't like to journal on camera because it's kind of like my diary and my thoughts, and I just like to keep those for myself. But sometimes I will share like little stories or things that I feel comfortable sharing on camera sometimes. But for the most part, I don't like to journal my feelings or thoughts on camera, again, because those are mine and mine alone. Alright guys, so that's it for this Journal With Me episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love a thumbs up. And also, if you aren't currently subscribed to my channel, I really hope you will consider sticking around and clicking that subscribe button. And again, you guys let me know down below what style you guys prefer for these videos. If you prefer like no talking and just music, some talking, and telling my process, or like storytelling. I'd love to hear your guys' comments down below. And thank you guys again so much for watching. Until my next video, I hope you guys have a wonderful day.